All right, guys, good morning. Appreciate everybody joining on board Monday to 20 or Tuesday, I should say, the 23rd. So I am going to, as you guys noticed, I went ahead and started recording. What we're going to do this morning, we're going to spend some time and actually do a training and overview on the new CoCard Pay Center that we have launched. And so the Pay Center is essentially planned to replace Swipe Simple, Biller Genie, and even Alliant Pay, the gateways that we've been utilizing prior. Now, those will all be still available, and some merchants may fit one or the other. That's totally okay. They still could be on a books if we need to utilize them. But the goal here is to be able to essentially have a cash-all invoicing, smart invoicing platform. They could incorporate all these features and more under basically one roof, with a really easy to use interface that we could go to market with control over price, with control over our features. And I think, like what we were talking about earlier, is that this is going to really open a door for a lot more higher tickets. And I could tell you, for some of you guys, gateway software, it's much less heavy lift for a lot of the merchants. And also, it's not so much of a support issue that takes place down the road compared to retail or restaurant software or point of sale system. So the support side is also minimized, meaning once the merchant pretty much gets used to it, we don't really get too many calls. We don't really get too many, requests for much of anything else. That's the nice thing about software gateways, is that once it's going, unless something, drastically happens and things crash, we rarely ever hear. I mean, unless we reach out to them, I think our support calls on gateways, in fact, I don't have an exact number in front of me, but I could tell you it's definitely less than 10% compared to restaurant, retail, and other support calls that we take in-house. So this is also another thing to keep in mind, is that it's going to allow you to basically just continue to sell and not have to always worry about support or service. And so I'm excited about this. This is super exciting, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And even though it's being recorded, feel free to jump in and ask questions and slow me down if I'm going too fast. And then let me know if you guys were able to see my screen.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So right off the bat, I want to just kind of draw your attention to this. So this is our landing page. So the Pay Center, this is all going to be available in an agent portal. I believe it's already actually there. So all you got to do is go and log into the portal, click on technology, and you'll see the CoCard Pay Center. It's going to include the flyer, the roadmap, the pricing, the link. So again, just use it as for your reference. So it'll be there for you. And this is a landing page that's been created for you to be able to utilize to showcase to your merchants. And also, this is a place where the merchants will be able to log in. And of course, contacts us. So this is a separate landing page we created, and there's going to be some more updates done onto this, but this is just to kind of launch it. And so it's a very nice user interface, nice landing page. It gives you enough information here that you could pretty much sell the product yourself right from here. Even if you may not necessarily have the marketing flyer right in front of you, if you just open up on your phone or a laptop, you could just take them to business.cocard.app, and you could be able to directly access this link. And so the idea behind the payment center is to basically, like I mentioned, be a kind of an all-in-one payment platform. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm kind of just browsing this down here, I'm going to go ahead and log in here in a second and show you guys the back end and do a quick overview and full training on it. So one thing I want to bring to your attention is an API. So one of the things that we have available now to this payment center is, if a software company wants to integrate into the invoicing platform, they can do that. There's a full docs that's available. They could actually come in here and see exactly how our APIs function and work. They could literally, just like Stripe, they could come in here and they could just, do their own, testing on here. They could come in and do, pull information, all kinds of stuff. It's all available for them. So they could just come in and play with it. So just keep that in mind if you're dealing with somebody that is a software and they want to do some integrations. This is a full-blown integration platform. Again, very similar to Stripe. So I'm not a developer by trade, but I could tell you that a lot of folks that have seen this, they really like the development piece of it, the API integration. And of course, developers are available on hand if there's additional questions or whatnot. And if it's a large enough merchant, we will also handhold them. The idea is the API is an easy to use an API, modern API. So most developers will be able to just go in and figure it out. But if they need more additional help, that's something we can also provide. All right, let me go ahead and hop right into the backend. Okay, so once you log in, the first thing that you will see is the dashboard. So this is in beta right now. And so the production side is actually being updated with the dashboard and all kinds of fun features that are going to be seen as well. But once you log in, you see a dashboard. You'll be able to see your revenue and the amounts that you've taken. Everything that the merchant does is archived, so they could see all their information at any given time of the day, regardless of how long back they go. From here, you have quick actions. You could create an invoice, send a request for a payment, or take a payment right from the gateway, and then also be able to add a customer. So on the left-hand side, this is kind of like a favorites bar. If you notice, there's a little star here. So if I kind of touch the star, I could also kind of make my specific items that I like, that I want to go to, appear on the top. And if I don't use some of these features, I could just simply hide them. So it's just a quick way for merchants to be able to pick something that they're using a lot and move it around. Just more customization for them. They could also move it up and down if they want to. Again, just a little touch. So from here, from the dashboard, if you click on invoices, this brings you to a page where it says, all right, this is where you could be able to start an invoice. The cool thing about the invoicing feature is that once you add a customer in, so let's say I'm going to go ahead and add myself in there, it'll save the customer. And all you really need to do is plug in their phone number or their email, and then type the item that you are going to invoice them. So let's just say we're going to invoice them a revenue EOS system, amazing. We're going to charge $2,500, and we're going to do quantity of 2, and immediately them to opens up another line item for them to be able to add another item. The invoicing allows you to also attach your own invoice. So let's say you're using a different invoicing platform. Let's say you're using, Sage or QuickBooks or whatever, and you have your own PDF, or you have a certain attachment of file you want to include with the invoice. You can also do that as well. It does support that. You could add message here. Thanks for your business. All right, we'll see it. On the right side, it shows that this is the price based on what you put here. And then also, it does tell them that there will be a 4% increase unless the customer pays with cash or check. And if you want, you do have the option to add a discount. So if some merchants want to eat the cost, they want to say, yep, I want to go ahead and I'm gonna just go ahead and add a discount. Whatever, 2% off, whatever it is, you're able to do that right from here. So you don't have to take the whole discount. You can do it, just partially. Just keep in mind on the cash discount, we are always looking to pull back the 4%. With the anticipation that the merchant's actually collecting the 4%. If they're not, then the merchant's the one that's going to be paying the difference. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's how the system works. So in a case where the merchant does want to be able to discount or waive or whatever, we give them the option to do that. All right. So the invoicing allows you to also establish installment payment options. So this is the cool thing where you can actually set up and say, all right, this $5,000, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I want only 50% of that, and automatically breaks down the invoice amount. Maybe I just want, 10%. There it is, 10% up front, 90% later. I can also break it down by dollar amounts. If you notice, it automatically did the calculation for me. 500 to 4,500 equals 5,000. So let's say if I want to just collect 2,500, it automatically does the calculation for me, and I could do as many as I want. Also, I could set due dates when the invoice is due. And the nice thing here is that I can set it up to send it immediately, or I can schedule to send this out. So this is a nice thing. You got somebody working late night and they're doing all the invoicing. They don't want to send it right then and then. They can schedule it. They can say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and send it on a due date. I want to send it, one day before due date or on a specific date, whatever you want to say. I can also say, I'm going to add a payment method here. So the cool thing is that if I already have a customer's card on file, I could just simply add the card information, save it, and then send an invoice for the customer to see it and also have that card on file ready. So all they got to do is click a button that says, yep, I approve, and the invoice will be paid. Now, one thing I want to show you here on the top is that I also have the option to preview the invoice. I can always click and see what my invoice will look like. Okay. And I can also turn on and off address, company, name, or company address, bill to address, if I want to apply cash discount or not. All is readily available to me right from here. And again, the idea here is that we want to keep the interface as simple and as clean as possible. So this is why, a lot of the invoicing, softwares that are out there, a lot of merchants don't quite like, because it's just too much going on. So the idea has been try to keep it as simple as possible. Also, I got a little, preview here. So anything that I do, so let me add another one. I'm going to add a PAX, A80. You can see on the right-hand side, it begins to immediately type it out, which is pretty cool. Smart terminal. I'm going to charge 500 for that. There it is. I can move this thing up and down. I can switch places. Again, just a really easy, quick interface. I can also save the invoice, or I can save it as a draft and come back to it. So if I go ahead and save the invoice, there you go. The invoice has been saved, and then it lives in my outstanding section. So the cool thing is, if I click on this, I get to see what's going on with this invoice. So it tells me that it was created here. Here's my customer. I could click into the customer, and I could see that they're set up to receive email and text for the actual invoice itself. And the nice thing about this is that on the top right corner, if I want to cancel, edit, or even open as how the customer is going to see it, watch this. I can see exactly what the customer is going to see when they receive the invoice themselves. There it is. So this is what the customer will see. Okay. Here's the cool part: card, cash, or ACH. So this is dual pricing cash discount, readily available out of the box. Okay. Here's it breaks it down side by side on this side. Here's my cash price, ACH price. Here's my card price, side by side. I have the option from here to pay the entire invoice. Okay. Or if I click on pay invoice, it allows me to pay just the partial amount. If you remember, we did an installment payment, so I have a partial amount. So I could just simply select it and pay this invoice. We do support ACH. So if somebody wants to be able to run an ACH rather than a card, or a combination of both, we have that available. So we can simply click on an ACH, fill in the information of the customer you're trying to bill, and move forward with that and take the payment. Okay. I have options to print the invoice as well. This is what the customer will see. All right. So back from here. So here's another thing. Watch this. Because I clicked on the link, check it out here. We have tracking involved. So every time a customer opens the email, clicks on a link, or receives the text, it is automatically tracked for you. So this is the customer. I clicked on a link a few seconds ago. It automatically told me what just happened. Okay, there's a tracking involved here, which is really cool. All right, and then so in this case, let's say I want to go ahead and edit the invoice. I just come back in here. I say I have it scheduled for for this thing to be sent out. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and send immediately. You notice that my little button changed here, save and send, and I'm going to go ahead and click on save and send. It says invoice has been successfully saved and it's been sent. And I already received the invoice. So let me actually pull up and show you what that looks like really quickly. Second here. Pull up my email. Show you guys what that looks like. Any questions so far while I'm waiting for the email to come through? Okay. Go ahead. There we go. Here's the email. Let me go ahead and this over. I don't know. Let's see why it's not allowing me to download the images.
I got a question while you're waiting for that. So Jeff's AC repair doesn't sound like a enterprise level big enough to white label the actual platform. But are businesses of all sizes going to have their invoices with their own logo and brand color and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's actually why I left it there, because I wanted you guys to see that. That was actually my next thing that I was going to bring up, is the ability for us to be able to do that. So every merchant will have their own color scheme, their own logo, built right into the invoicing. So they get to see, basically they can make it as close to their branding as possible. Can you guys see this here?
Yes.
All right, cool. So yeah, so the color, the logo, obviously the business address, all this is customizable. So in this case, this is what the email looks like. So I just received an email. Here's the invoice, payment request, customer, due date. Here's kind of a preview of the invoice. And all I got to do is I click on pay now. And again, it opens up the page. And here we are. And then watch what happens on this side. So if I click into the invoicing, look at the history. We tracked everything that the merchant just did, or excuse me, the merchant's customer. So email was read, he was delivered, sent. I clicked on it. So it goes all the way from the time that it was sent, and the most recent one shows up on the top. So again, this is a great way for merchants to be able to track what happened to that invoice, right? If they send an invoice out and the customer says, I never got it, well, technically, they got a record to prove it, right? So this is a nice way that it could be on track and on, on top of what's going on with that invoice. All right, questions on this? All right, let me go ahead and hit pay. I'm going to go ahead and pay. By the way, we can't add a tip. I just left it on there just so you guys can see this. Now, obviously, this may or may not apply to certain industries, but it is there. I'm going to go ahead and skip. I'm going to go ahead and hit pay. Here you go. Payment is successful. There's my cash discount, and there's my payment total. All right. So it is completely paid. So now back on this side, there he goes. $2,500 paid. What's remaining is the $3,000. And again, here I have the same option. I could be able to send this out for the for the remainder to be paid, or I have the option also to click on pay. So let's say if a customer calls in and says, you know what, I actually want to just make that payment real quick over the phone. No problem. Open up the invoice, click a little pay, and boom, there's the option. I could go ahead and process this, and it asks you a question. How was this transaction taken? This is really important. We do have to make sure that the merchant selects it's their phone, email, online, whatever. In this case, it's going to be phone. I'm going to apply a cash discount. I'm going to process the payment. There we go. Payment's been made. Invoice is clear. Now it's no longer in my outstanding. Now it's in my paid section. The invoice is paid. And if I refresh this, check this out, it already shows paid. This is what the customer sees. It's paid. They have the option to also email them the receipt. So the customers could get themselves a receipt, or again, they could also print it as well. Pretty instantaneous. And again, if I open up the invoice, I get to see the history of this. Payment's been made. If I click on it, it gives me exactly what happened, when it was, the customer, how it was paid, details, who initiated it. We have a unique transaction ID to track this, the history of the sale. And again, up top here, I could send a payment receipt automatically, or I could have it manually. So right now we have it set so every time a payment is made, the merchant receives a copy of that receipt and a notification that the payment's been made. And also the customer receives the notification that the payment's been completed and they receive their own receipt. But again, I also have the option to send a payment receipt. Here you go. Because the customer's information is already on a file, it automatically pre-populates the email address. I could refund the payment right from here. I could do a full payment, or I could do a partial payment. And then I can also indicate if I'm canceling this invoice. And also I do need to indicate a reason why I'm doing a refund. All from one screen. Super easy. Merchants love this. I don't know if you guys ever used invoicing software before, but it's not as intuitive. This thing is flawless as far as the interface is concerned. Okay. And I could also, of course, print a receipt if I want to. Okay, there's paid, there's my company logo, so on. All right, questions?
So the customer is going to have their own portal in this. Is that always going to be accessible to them, whether it's like an ongoing subscription base, like a pool cleaner, as well as like more of a one-time thing like HVAC work or something like that?
So today, the customer portal is not yet released, Abe. It's actually in the works to be released. So what the customer is going to get right now is the merchant is going to send an invoice out. The customer is going to receive a link by text or email. And what they're going to have access to is this page. Okay. They're going to click on it. They're going to see the invoice. They're going to pay. And it's going to send them a automatic email, as a copy of the invoice that was been paid, like a receipt. And that's kind of where it ends. However, pretty soon, the customers will also have their own portal that the merchant can initiate an invite to. You can say, you know what, I'm going to invite Abe to have his own portal so that you can log in and you can see this invoice sitting there that's been paid, or any invoice that's been outstanding. Okay.
So when it's a subscription base, like a pool cleaner that goes out there once a month and charges them, $140 or whatever. So that's not necessarily an installment. It's an ongoing installment. Does this send out the subscriptions the same way as on schedule, as if it's just infinite amount of installation payments?
Yes, it is, Abe. So that's where the subscription piece comes in, that is built right into this. So the merchant gets to decide how often, how frequent, and the dollar amounts that they want to charge. So in your case, if it's a pool cleaner that's once a month, they're going to charge, or let's say it's every week, they're going to charge $50 every week. Not an issue. You come right into the subscriptions as a merchant, because this is a merchant portal. This is what our customers are going to get access to. And they just come in here, they click on new subscription, they put their customer in. So there's me right there. Pool cleaning. The amount, let's say I'm going to charge them $100 a month. Frequency is monthly, weekly, bi-weekly. You get to decide. It's all set up here. So I'm going to go, let's just say weekly, $50. Start the billing. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to start on the Monday the 29th. And right here, if I don't turn this on, Abe, it'll just go infinitely upon cancellation. Okay. But let's say if I want to stop billing after 12 payments or whatever, I can do that. So let's say after, 10 payments. And it tells you the last payment will be on August the 14th. Or let's say after 15 payments or 20, whatever it is, right? You get to decide. But if I don't want to cancel it, it's just going to go infinite unless I manually cancel it. That's all I have to do. And again, cash discount. There he goes. And I can attach a file to this too. So I request a subscription. There it is. There it goes. So now it's pending for me to receive it. So I just received this request. Let me see if I could pull this up for you guys. See here. My Outlook, for some reason, doesn't download the images on my email. I think it's a little thing it's turned off on my side on our server. But second here, let me just show you what this looks like. I'm gonna wait for it to come through on my other end. But and then once the customer confirms it. Oh, I can hear myself. All right, let me pull this up now. Second. So subscription request. All right, $52. pool cleaning because it includes the cash discount. Its frequency is weekly. Here's my customer. I have to accept. As soon as I accept, it brings up this page. I got to confirm the subscription. I put my card information in. I confirm. Okay. Again, I could email myself the receipt. And there you go. My subscription is active. So now back to this side. If you notice, it automatically went from pending to active and updated a few seconds ago. It's immediate, instantaneous. It automatically updates without having to wait, 15, 20 minutes or sometimes a day for some invoicing softwares out there. And then all I got to do, again, if I want to take a look at what happened here, here's my history. If I have any attachments, and then this will now automatically charge the customer on a weekly basis $50. And if I need to, I could come in here and I could close a subscription. Or I could come up here and I could copy a link, open as a customer. Or again, close the subscription here as well. So if I do that, I just put a notes in here, okay? No longer needed. And we're done. And if you notice, it went from active to closed. Questions?
Tigran, how does the interface look on mobile devices for merchants? Obviously, they're not going to be doing, major invoicing like this, but just to confirm payment reception, pay out a customer, etc.
Absolutely, brother. Check this out. So if I here, let's do this. I could even send you guys a link for you guys to see. But if you notice, when I move the page, this is responsive to the actual, size of the screen. So this is basically, no matter what size of the screen you have on your phone, whatever you're using, it's going to be it's very mobile friendly, essentially. So if you take a look at it here, if I go again, if I move it over, what happens is that now I see a little plus button here instead of, up top. I see this little hamburger bar, as they call it, the menu. It shows up here on the side. So it basically responds to the size of the screen automatically. And I believe I have, there we go. So let's say if I have an iPad, boom, this is what it will look like on an iPad. Okay. iPhone 6. I don't know why it says iPhone 6, but let's just say it's an iPhone 6, whatever. Let's see here. Oops. Sorry, guys. Get out of here. This is what it will look like technically on an iPhone. So again, it's very responsive to the screen size, regardless of what you're using. And that's a big one. That's a big one, Jared, because obviously most of these guys are probably going to be on a phone, like you said. So no matter where they're at, they could be able to utilize this with ease. And then all the subscriptions, guys, invoicing, payments, whatever it is, it all lives on our servers. So you could search for this. And it's a wild search. You could put the name, you could put the dollar amount. It'll search it for you. Okay. Merchants love this feature. And then anything that we do, it shows up here. So there's your payments. We just captured these two payments. It shows up right there. So this is kind of like a reporting section of any payments that's been received by our merchant. And I could look at the dates. I could say in the last 7 days, or just today, or at a certain time of the year, of all time. Everything is archived. And from here, I also have the option for a virtual terminal, and I can also have the option to export the payments as an Excel file. Okay. And if I click on virtual terminal, it automatically gives me a pop-up, allows me to plug in the information and charge the customer. So this is somebody that is sitting in the office, a CPA, accountant, whatever, cool guy, and they need to take a quick payment. Not an issue. Virtual terminal, it serves that purpose. So you don't have to send an email or an invoice or anything in that sort. It just allows you to just type a customer's name. So let's say John Doe, the email, again, the amount. Okay, if I want to put an invoice. Okay, and then again, I could come in here, select the card on file. How did the customer authorize the transaction? If it's by phone, email, online, or other. So I'm just going to say phone, process a payment. Oh, I don't have an invoice on there. There we go. Payment successful, or tell you if it's declined. I could just process another payment right from here or exit out. And again, everything's captured, recorded automatically. Questions on this?
Question on the invoice. I know we said recurring or invoices. Are we gonna be able to do open charge on invoices? So let's say layaway type of deal.
So layaway is when you're saving an invoice and then applying a payment to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. So it'll basically fall into the invoicing, the partial payment. Now it's not a true layaway, Lewis, meaning you kind of keep an invoice open. So for example, in your case, it'll be, let's say, a layaway item, whatever it is, let's say it's $1,000. Okay. So down here is the installment side, right? So if I'm taking only, let's say 20% of this, or I'm only taking maybe $100 payment, the remainder is going to be 900, right? So if I take that payment, let's say I'm going to go ahead and save and send. Let me show you this real quick while we're talking. Okay, there's my outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and take a payment on this real quick, Lewis, so you can see it. Okay. All right. Now my remainder is 900, right? And it's scheduled to be sent out. So now what happens is that when I come in here, okay, let's say I want to edit this. Okay. What you can do, Lewis, is that, watch this. You could come in and you could type the amount that you want to apply an invoice to, let's say, customer tomorrow comes back and says, I want to put another $100 in there. You can do that. You could come in here and say, all right, due dates today, let's say the 23rd, and I'm going to pay it right now. Add a payment method, boom. Credit card, whatever it is, debit card, whatever it is, take that payment. Okay. So you can do that. It's not traditionally like a true layaway system, but the system is flexible enough to where it allows you to achieve what you're looking to do, which is to keep applying payments on an outstanding invoice.
Yeah. It looks like it will work on this aspect.
Oh yeah, it will definitely work. Absolutely. It's just that as long as all you got to do is you got to walk your merchant through so they understand how the installment side of the payments work for the invoice, because it is technically, a payment that's outstanding that you're applying a future payment towards until it's fully paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and what's nice is the whole thing that actually shows you how much you got remaining on the balance.
Yes.
I was gonna talk about that too.
Exactly. So there you go. There's your outstanding. Here's my balance. I got a $900 balance left now. So let's say if I come in here, it shows me a record that I just made a $100 payment. Here's another $100 that I sent for the customer to pay. Let's say if they want to pay again, I'm going to do this, boom, phone, boom, right? Payment's been made. Now my outstanding is 800. Okay. And it's due on a 7/30. So this is where I say it's not like a true layaway where it won't have like a due date. Some layaways don't have a due date, right? So what you can do,
in this case, it will have a due date. So it'll be like, hey, you know what? This is the date that we need to have the last payment by. So it works. For
perfect.
That. Yeah. So on that,
here's what I was going to show you too. We have this option called on hold, Lewis, where it doesn't have a due date. So for layaway without a due date, this is what you'll do. You'll just select on hold and save it. So now it's on hold. So there's not technically a due date. See, it says will not send until the hold is released. So technically speaking, what you could do is that you could put it on hold and you just keep applying payments to it. So instead of 800, we'll do 150, right? Watch, phone, payment, done. So now my balance is 650 on hold. You see how that works?
Yeah. And as far as the customer side, are they going to be able to see what their balance is?
Oh, absolutely. Boom. Watch this. Every time you make a payment, the customer receives an invoice. Here it is. Watch this.
Nice.
See that? Total paid, outstanding balance. Clean, man.
And so if they have this and right now there's not a portal, but if they go back to the original payment link that the merchant sent them, It'll take them to whatever their outstanding balance is. It's not going to be like retroactive back to, showing that they'll owe 850.
You got it. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So let me actually show you what it will look like, because every time a customer makes a payment, they receive an automatic email confirmation, right? They get a receipt. Here's what it looks like. Watch this. Let me pull this up. It says, hey, you just made a payment of $156 because you paid with card. So what happens is that when I click, let me close this page real quick. There you go. As a customer, if I click on view invoice, watch this. It brings up the entire invoice, not just that receipt that I was just paid for. So you're always up to date as to what's going on. There's always a trail, a history, and a record.
All right. As far as the in-person payment, how can we tie this, or is it going to be always just a portal?
When you say in-person payment, are you talking about like a card taken with a terminal, with a pin pad?
Yeah, terminal.
Yes. That is actually on. It's almost done. It's actually in QA right now as we speak, Louis. So it's slated to be released June 1st.
All right.
So we are going to be actually utilizing the PAX devices to integrate to it. Okay, so this will turn into a card present and card not present environment. So you can have somebody in the office with a credit card terminal connected to this software, and they come into the virtual terminal, and it'll give them an option, charge on, on a terminal. Instead of, one of these, it'll say charge on a terminal, and it'll light up the pin pad. And when they receive the payment, it'll close the sale.
Okay.
So if it's like a tattoo shop or a
Yes.
massage therapist or something, they can just have an iPad and skip the expensive POS systems that are overbuilt for what they need.
You got it, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Because really what it comes down to, Abe, is that this right here, items. Okay. See, every time I've added it in my invoice, it automatically added it into the item section. You see this? So let's say if it is a tattoo parlor, right? I could add an image to it, to the item. I could type in, tattoo, whatever, type it's a product or a service. Let's say it's a service, and it's $100. And I could also add a tax rate if I want to charge a tax rate. Save. Boom, there's my tattoo. Okay, I could come in and edit it. Now, let's say I want to take a payment, and I'm going to do an invoice or whatever it is. New invoice. If I do a drop down, there's my tattoo for $100. So it's ready to go.
That's cool. Yeah, because they'll charge based on a 3x3 or a 6x6 or
whatever they want,
or custom. Yeah, sweet.
Absolutely, or custom. Absolutely. And again, none of this is hard coded. They could always edit the name. They could edit the price, quantity. Doesn't really matter. It's all there, ready to go.
Where did you put that template in there? Under items or virtual terminal?
Items. Yep, okay. Under items. Yep, exactly. So I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit. I don't mind, but I want to cover a couple more things because we got some cool features here I want to show you guys real quick. So the other one is, it's called payment links. Okay, payment links. It's literally a pre-built shopping cart. Okay, that we're allowing our customers to utilize directly from the invoicing platform. Watch this. When I click on new payment link, check this out. I could create a product link that creates a buy now button. Okay, that literally will allow the merchant to add this to their website. Or they could do a rapid checkout with multiple items. This is live, literally. You could put the image, description, dollar amount, or you could create what is called a hosted payment link, where you could create a payment page for your website online with literally just a couple clicks. So let's just start with a product link as an example. I click on next. It's going to ask me which of the products I want to select. So let's say I want to add the PAX. Okay, I don't have an image to this yet. I click on next. Do I want to apply a cash discount? Absolutely. And now it allows me to also create additional custom fields. So let's say this is what the payment page will look like. Okay, right here on the right hand side. But let's say I want to also add a checkbox that says, enroll into, I don't know, marketing.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. Right? Checkbox options. Yes. No. Or just yes. Right? And that's it. And now, let's say I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I don't need this. I'm going to do another one that says, I don't know, man. Or let's just do a radio button. You know, all into marketing. Yes. No. I can make this required. Let me see if I want to throw in additional select. I don't know. Let's just say item 1. Okay. I don't know. Black, red, pink, whatever, right? I mean, again, this is all just custom, whatever the customer wants. And there he goes. It shows on the right-hand side exactly what it would look like. Okay. And then from here, I hit save and watch what happens. Now it gives me several options. A direct link of what the payment will look like, the page will look like, a QR code they could copy, download, print. Here's my link that I could also, if I click into it, you see it automatically, watch this what happened. It automatically copied it to the clipboard. I can also share directly to the social media. I also have an embedded code into my website. Okay. So here's what the page will look like now. I click on this guy. There it is. Okay. I hit buy now. And there's all my options. Enroll, yes, no. I want it in black instead of red, whatever, right? This is what it will look like. It's pretty cool. Here's basically my item that I just created. And again, I could put more description. I could put image on this item. I click on buy now. Boom, ready to go. Very clean, easy. Within less than 30 seconds, I just created a shopping cart item for my website or whatever. Exit out. Let's look at the another option. Let's say I want to go ahead and do, actually, let's see here. I'm going to go and edit this. And I want to add another one or a different one. Again, very simple. I could click here and I can edit the item as well. I could throw descriptions in here, whatever, images. Again, a lot of this stuff is customizable. I could even make this a subscription. So you got a gym, you got a membership, platform or a company. Again, I could create my subscriptions and list them right here. So this is cool, right? I mean, it's ready to go right out of the box. This is how we could compete with like MindBody, with other platforms out there that allows them to basically, have their customers select a subscription online. Most of these are going to be like your gyms, right? Most of these are going to be like learning centers, places where they want to enroll you into a monthly plan. Or
this is a demo all in itself for that sector.
What's that?
This is a demo all within itself.
Oh my
gosh, the whole platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this in itself, brother, is a huge selling point. I mean, and the key again here is that how easy it is to use this thing. I mean, it's not designed to complicate it. That's the whole key here. That's why a lot of our merchants love this thing. When we did a demo with several of them before a beta run or any of that stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, this is what we've been needing forever. Okay. So, and again, I could come in here and I could create a new item or whatever. So again, I just want to, let's do this. Let me actually click on here and go into the rapid checkout link. I want to show you guys this too. This is kind of cool. Rapid checkout is exact same, except I could do multiple items at the same time. So let's say I do have a one-time item and then I want to also add a subscription. There it is. Or I can limit the customer to only a single item. That means they must select out of these, they must select only one. See this? How it changes? Pretty cool. Next, same thing. Next, same thing. If I want more features or whatever fields added, click on save and watch what happens now. There it is. Add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. I could add as many as I want. Boom, boom, boom. Shopping cart, click on checkout. I'm ready to rock. Questions? Yeah, this is fun, man. This in itself is huge selling point. Again, you guys will have access to the sandbox. So I'm going to have you guys go. I would encourage you guys to go play with this, break it, figure it out, come up with some more features or items that we can put on our roadmap. And I'll show you guys what that will look like. I know we're getting kind of close to the top of the hour, so I got to go a little fast. And at any time somebody makes a payment from here. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and do a payment. Oops. Mr. John Doe, submit my 13. Oh, that's because I have not. That's too much on a card. I can't do that on this demo card. Hang tight, guys. Let me go ahead and remove some of this. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Thank you for my order. I could also click to view my order. Again, a receipt. There it is. Just made that payment. And then on this side, so when I go to my orders, it shows right here that I just received an order from the link. It even specifically specifies where this payment came from. New order. Here it is. It's a layaway item. Status. I can also say, by the way, check this out. I can almost like a little basic CRM, right? I can set it so this is, you know, complete, new, shipped, whatever. I could literally come in here and track everything for myself.
You show ship. Could we calculate shipping?
Confirm. So it says order is not shippable because this item I did not select it to be shipped. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on complete. Here it is. It's done. History shows everything that I've done. As far as calculate shipping, no, not yet. Calculating shipping with FedEx and UPS is on the roadmap.
Cool.
Yep. And then there it is. I don't have any new, and here's my complete orders. Boom, boom, boom. History. And if I want to, I could come back in here and I just, you know, again, I could make this new, bring it back, start working on it. Okay. Items we already discussed. Virtual terminal we already discussed. Customers. So one more thing on a customer side, every time I add a customer, it automatically adds the customer information on file, including a payment method. So if I want to add a payment method, I can do that. I have an option to send a request, or I can manually add the payment request. So if I come in here and I want to add a new card, I plug in the information, whatever it is, boom, 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 and I'm done. Or I could send a request. So my customer could add the payment information themselves. This is a powerful one, man, because this way it eliminates the liability of the merchant, you know, from having to, you know, if a customer come back and say, well, I didn't give you permission to save my card on file, right? And keep in mind, we tokenize and encrypt the transactions. So even if the card is on file, the customer, our merchant only sees the last 4 of the card number. They don't see the full card number, okay?
And how does it work with the, I think last Tuesday you mentioned that it would update expired cards?
Not yet. Not this one. No, that's authorized.net.
Okay. I thought we were talking about this one doing that too. Okay.
Yep. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. So there's a few things that's on a roadmap I'm going to show you guys here in a quick second. But before I do, I'm going to click on settings and show you guys a couple things here. Okay. So for the merchant, they have options right here where will come in, and this will be pre-populated. When we board the account, their business name and address will be there already. And if we could find an image, we will put their company logo on there, and we will also try to match the color. But let's say they want to change it. All they got to do is just click on it, you know, put their own logo in there, click on a color wheel, you know, excuse me, click on a color wheel, and then, you know, change the colors themselves. Okay. And this is where they could also come in and create custom terms and conditions. They could add a text, they could add a link, they could put policy in here. You know, they could adjust the location, whatever. So they have options right here to be able to do so. In addition, the fees section will not be available for the merchants to customize. This is really important. We actually kind of keep this locked for the merchants, so they won't be able to adjust the cash discount, because it's important for us to be aware if they're making any, or if they want to change anything, they need to reach out to us and let us know. Because if they change the cash discount percentage to, let's say, 5%, but it's only allowed to do 4%, that's not going to match to what we're doing. Or if let's say they want to change it to 2% instead of 4%, right? That has happened before where merchants, without knowing, are changing things around. So even though the merchants will see this interface, they just won't be able to change it. All right. And then we also have an option to what it's called dual pricing or subtle pricing. What does that mean? Let me actually show you guys. Let me see if I have any more of these up top. Open. Show you guys what this looks like. Let me open up one of the invoices. I'm going to go ahead and say save and send. I'm going to say all right. I'm going to go ahead and open this up as a customer. So look, take a look at here. Cash and card side by side. Watch what happens when I change it to subtle. I'm going to come into the fees. Oh, excuse me, guys. Subtle. Watch what happens here. Same invoice. It went to the bottom. The side by side pricing. You see how that changed? So watch this. Watch this. Okay, so we have the option to do side by side or subtle. Subtle means the total is the card price, and on the bottom is the cash or ACH.
And this is on the screen that they don't have, the merchant doesn't have access to.
Nope, the merchants will not have access to this, but we do have the option to do it. The default, just so you guys know, will be the dual side by side. Will be the default out of the box. If the customer says, I want to be able to, is there any way we could change that? Technically speaking, this isn't even something that, actually invoices out there, software out there don't even have this, but we also added this feature. So in case if it's needed, it doesn't have to be so, prominent in the face of the customer.
Yeah, I like the subtle.
Yeah. So totally there for you. If you need it, it's definitely there. Okay. And then features, we can make some adjustments to to enable invoicing, payment links, all kinds of stuff. Most of our merchants will have everything enabled for them, unless, they don't need some of these features. We could just turn it off. But we could enable it. Now, this is another thing where out of the box, this whole software is going to cost $49 a month. Okay. That's our cost. That's what we're going to go to market with. There's no transaction fee, no setup fee, no annual fee. However, most invoicing softwares out there, they will charge additionally for like text messaging, or they'll charge additionally for the virtual terminal. Okay. We just basically turn everything on for them and give it to them out of the box because, watch this, the integration piece of it is also a big one that's available to our merchants right out of the box. So QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop is ready to go. Okay. So this is part of the payment center where they have all those smart invoicing features, plus we could integrate to their QuickBooks and push all that data up to QuickBooks so that the reconciling is done for them. Okay. And then the last couple things real quick is that notifications. All right. We can also identify, let me go ahead and edit this real quick. We can also identify payment reminders here. So the merchant can come in and say, I want to be able to, create my own custom payment reminders. So when an invoice is sent, 3 days before due date, please send a reminder, or on due date, send a reminder, or do a custom one yourself, do whatever you want. And on our next release, which is coming up, they're also going to be add ability to do a late fee and or a discount. So you could say if after 3 days they don't pay, add 10% late fee or $10 late fee. The invoice will do it. The payment center, will be automatically apply the payment onto the invoice, or it'll be a discount. If you pay early, we'll give you $10 off, 10% off, whatever. Okay, that's actually in the works, almost ready to be released. It's part of the QA as well. So just want to give you guys a heads up. If the merchant wants to receive payment notifications, this is where you turn on. You could just simply put, here's a daily summary. We could send emails to more than one recipient. So if it's merchant and the accountant and to whoever, we can do that as well, along with payment confirmations. We could send it to more than one email. Okay. And then if the merchant wants to allow another agent to come in here, so here's one, let's say, since we were doing a demo yesterday for John's client, I had added John in here. So you guys will have access to all this. You guys will have all the, but as a merchant, the merchant could also come in and add a user. They could come in here and add as many users as they want, and they can also identify roles. So they could come in here and say, okay, this is all that you're able to do, or things you can't do. Anything with a check mark will enable or disable the things that that role will be able to do or not do. All right, pretty easy stuff, man. And the idea behind is simplicity. We're trying to keep this thing as simple as possible, so the merchants won't get lost in the invoicing, because that's the number one complaint, is that it's cumbersome to use and it's expensive.
I had a question about the rapid checkout. So say it's back to the tattoo scenario, or a hairdresser or something where they're doing their booking online. So you have a link, you go in there and you select, a 6x6 tattoo or a women's haircut and color. And then you go, instead of just scheduling the appointment, you can go ahead and put your card on file, and then it's charged at the time of your appointment. Or is that a functionality that would even work for like the pending charge? So that way they wouldn't have to have a payment taken at the location. It was already paid for, unless it's the appointment scheduled.
Yep, it is. Yeah, yep, it does give them that option, Abe. Now, keep in mind, this is not a scheduling software, so there's no way to schedule an appointment. Right. Yeah, but yes, they can definitely pay for it ahead of time, and then when they show up at the store, at the salon, wherever, the payment's already been made. There's nothing else for them to do.
Okay, the scheduling piece would just have to be separate, which would rely on some level of integration. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a scheduling software. Yeah. Yep. But the checkout process is something that you can enable for them to pay. That is designed to be paid. Essentially, it's just like a shopping cart. It's designed for you to pay for it ahead of time. That's what these are designed for. So these are primarily designed for the merchants to be able to sell product or service, whether a one-time product or subscription-based products, on their website with ease, without having to go on Shopify, without having to open up, e-commerce website, and pay a bunch of hosting fees and payment, subscription fees and whatnot. This is built in. They can have as many items as they want to create a shopping cart experience for their customers. Remember, that's the beauty here, is that if you want to have a Shopify page, an account, no problem. Go out there and do that. But for most merchants, they don't need all the bells and whistles. All they need is a way for them to be able to present a product online for their customers to pay for, or a subscription service, or a combination of both. That's where this comes in. All right. So real quick
on the links. Sorry, the hosted payment link. How exactly does that work? Is that just you're just creating a link to a page?
Yes. So hosted payment page basically is essentially a payment page that the customer will go on to and essentially just make a payment. For example, so let's just create one real quick. Would you like to ask the customer for an invoice number? Let's just say I'm going to make it required. And would you like to allow the customer to provide a note? Let's just say it's optional. And if there's any disclaimer, you put it in here. Pay now or else. Next, apply cash discount. Any additional features that you want to add, save. So watch what happens, Anthony. You open this puppy up, and it's just a simple payment page.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So we have merchants that basically all they need is a payment page on their website, and they have to go out and basically hire a developer or reach back out to their developer to create a payment page and integrate to payments and all this. This is already done. All they got to do is just literally just click. And what they do is that they just simply just take this link and add it to a button on their website, or add this code. This code will also, this code will basically create this right here on the right-hand side. This is called an iframe. It'll basically just create this into their website. So Really easy, really quick way to be able to create this hosted payment page, rapid checkout, or the product link. Cool. Let me see if I can show you guys something else really fast, because I want to make sure I cover this as well. There we go. All right, let me just real quickly tell you guys about the integrations that's coming up, okay? So right now, we're integrated to QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. However, we are on the roadmap right now, ready to go with FreshBooks, Xero, NetSuite, and Salesforce, okay? These are all pretty much done. Okay, again, these are all going through a QA. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. This is going to be out, more than just QuickBooks. It's going to give us so much more opportunity to be able to, go after those merchants in specific verticals that are already using one of these accounting softwares. I mean, between these guys, honestly, between QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Xero, NetSuite, and Salesforce, that's pretty much 90% of the market share. It's kind of crazy. And then Zapier is on a roadmap, and Tray.io is also on a roadmap. These are all kind of, these are like a third-party integration tools, right? That you can connect a bunch of different things to. Okay, this is on the agent portal. You guys will have access to this. Also, top verticals I want to share with you guys where this fits. So this is just based on data. This fits in 28% business services. Okay, where the invoicing feature and invoicing platform fits in is with any business-to-business providers, your advertising services, your pet, your pest and your pool, your cleaning, automotive. Then you move up to the contracted services, your electrical contractors, your special trade or whatnot. So these are the verticals that the invoicing platform will work really well in, and it does work today, including some of the miscellaneous. So because we have the rapid checkout, some of these guys, like floor covering stores or swimming pool stores or whatever, that's maybe all they need. Again, it's just a basic page for them to be able to go in and add their items and make that available for a sale. Retail outlets, professional services, great way to be able to get in and get these verticals. And I can tell you guys that a lot of these verticals are not solicited as much, believe it or not. It's very, when you drive down a road, you see your restaurants and your retail and whatever, everybody else does too. And so many times people just go up and down the street and knock on those doors. These verticals, you have to kind of make a little bit more of an effort. And sometimes that's not always the case. So these verticals are less solicited and they're more stickier. And if you could give them a platform that they like and enjoy using, they're not going anywhere, including with our cash discount. They're not even going to be paying anything. So this is something for you guys to think of. Again, this is going to be in a portal. I want you guys to take a look at that. Feature list. Now, this is all going to be in a portal as well, kind of more highlighted of the things that we can do. A bunch of stuff here. And then also, let me go show you guys the roadmap really fast. Where is the roadmap? Give me 1 second. Did I just... shoot, I think see 1 second. That's not the one. That's our other one. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Give me just a sec. Any questions while I'm pulling up the roadmap?
The question I have just about how is support going to work?
So same way. Yeah, same way. So the way that the support basically works is so when the merchant gets onboarded, basically they get scheduled for a training. The merchant basically gets set up on how to be able to use it. They have access to our support line. So if they want to call, they could call in. We could be able to provide them with support. Keep in mind that majority of the times the merchant will probably call you guys and say, hey, I have this question or whatnot. And you guys could be able to walk them through it, or obviously utilize our support line and call in and have the merchant taken care of in-house. So the support is similar because this is a product that we are carrying in-house. It's going to be done by us, right? So that's the key about. Oops, I don't know what's going on here. Sorry about that. That's the key about the support here is that we're going to have a lot better control over what our merchants, how our merchants are going to be taken care of. And that's kind of the idea too, man. This is why we wanted to kind of bring everything in-house, because this allows us to essentially control that, merchant, experience, so that we're not relying on a third party to take care of our merchants. We want to make sure that we are the ones that's taking care of our merchant and make sure we are taking care of them the way that we normally do. And so that is all done in-house.
Oh, great. And then I think it mentioned at one time, I don't know if it was, I think it was on one of the last meetings, the 3D Secure, was that one of the things that's on the roadmap, or is that something that we have?
Yes. Sorry guys, I keep can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. So this is what's coming up right now as we speak. Okay, so automated payment reminders, automated level 2, level 3 optimization, and card present payment terminals. This is the major release that's coming. There are small minor releases are in between. So level 2, level 3 processing will be automated. For some of you guys, just as a refresher, if somebody's doing a wholesale on an interchange model pricing and they're doing business-to-business transactions, Visa and MasterCard allow them to actually get a discount on specific cards. So in order for them to receive the discount, they have to plug in a bunch of data manually. Well, we're going to automate that for them. So to kind of give you an idea, on an interchange, on a cost, a business card could cost about 2.95%. On this level 2, level 3 optimization, that same card will drop down to about 1.9%. That's how drastic the difference is. So Visa, MasterCard are the only two that participate in this program. And for a lot of our wholesalers, a lot of our manufacturers, a lot of our even the CPAs and the marketing agencies, anybody they could think of that does business with another business takes business cards. Those cards can qualify for these kinds of savings. Okay, so this is on the queue to be released June 1. And so this is going to be also part of the platform with no additional cost. So automated payment reminders, the level 2, level 3 optimization, and the card present terminals are all ready to go here coming up in June. Now, as far as 3D Secure, it's going to be more later towards the Q4, Anthony. So right here, the 3D Secure 2.0, it's coming up. That's all going to be towards the end of the year. It's also going to include the secure invoicing. This is where the customers will be able to have HIPAA compliant invoices, all of that stuff that's also coming. And then third-party integrations, even though I showed you guys there, it's ready. This has been slated a little bit, pushed a little bit back towards the Q4 because of all these major ones that we've kind of put in place, because we really need those to be, implemented sooner than later. Client portal, it's coming up in Q3 with automatic late fees and early pay discounts. We want these. These are actually something we've asked to be pushed up. So some of this might be a little bit, changed. As you're seeing, this may not be the most up to date because we're trying to push the most, and some of these things to be done kind of sooner than later. But this is kind of a visual draft of what it looks like that's coming up this year. Okay. There's also going to be a mobile app that's going to be released. So we will have a mobile app that the merchants could be able to download and do all this on their phone. The key, though, is the way that the page, in a sense, works, as we talked, we went over earlier, is that because it kind of works between different screen sizes, there's no additional need for downloading another app. A lot of merchants don't want to download another app on their phone, but if they want to, that's going to be also an option. Okay. Any questions on this?
Yeah. Is this deck finalized to where we can show this, like that graph that you showed for what industries this is really has a high potential? There's more to come.
Yes. Actually, here, let me show you this really quickly. We got a couple of these. Let me see real quickly. Yes. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Abe, let me see if the portal's already updated. Yeah, there we go. So Pay Center information, and then I believe it's here. Let me just double check. Yep, there's that.
Cool.
So this is kind of what I should share with you guys. And then I will have the roadmap also added on a separate kind of like I'll just have it attached, on a side. I'm a little careful with the roadmap, guys, because in development, things change all the time. Sometimes you think a feature may take a week and it takes 3 weeks. Sometimes you take a feature, it's going to take a month and it takes a week. That's just how development works. So we're kind of a little careful with how much stuff that we put out on a roadmap. And that's why it's kind of a draft, but I will put it in there just for you guys to lay eyes on. And then I will keep you guys updated as we basically progress and as new features are being released.
Question regarding the $49
Yes,
a month, is that including the cash discount, or is
No.
that on
So $49 a month is the platform fee. If somebody wants to use Pay Center, $49 is what it's going to cost them. Believe me, it is extremely well priced compared to what's out there, including Bill or Genie. We know Bill or Genie is $24.95 for the basic, but if they want to do the invoicing and all of those, it actually jumps up, and then they charge a percentage as well. So one thing that we are going to do as we're kind of launching this thing out, anybody that does cash discount that's $10,000 or more, we're going to waive that $49 a month fee. Okay, so we could go to market at zero cost, giving them this entire Pay Center with QuickBooks integration at $0 a month. So if anybody does cash discount and they do at least $10,000 a month, that's going to be part of your June. It's coming up. It's going to be a June promo, by the way. That's going to be part of June launch. Is that we will be able to offer that to our merchants.
All right, so it's gonna be 49 plus the 39.
Yes, generally speaking, yes. So if it's a standard, it's going to be 49 plus 39, because 49 is a software. Remember, you have a software fee and then you have a merchant account. A merchant account allows them to do the cash discount program. The software basically allows that to function correctly. And so in this case, we're not just doing just invoicing. We're doing QuickBooks integration, all these features that we just kind of went over. But if a merchant is going to be doing cash discount starting in June, if they do at least $10,000 a month with 2 months of a statements that we could verify, we will waive the $49 a month fee for them.
All right, just want to make sure that's what I want to make sure I was in the right path.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Any questions on this so far? Okay. Well, guys, it's about 20 minutes over our time. Hopefully this gets you guys excited to what's ahead and what's coming and what we're able to do now. Again, this is just another tool in the toolbox. The idea is that we pick what we like and go after these verticals. And now that you'll have an access to the sandbox, you can pretty much demo this thing and play with it, and get a feel for it, and then go out and share with your merchants. But I tell you, one of my very first merchants when I got started was an invoicing merchant, and they were one of my largest merchants. They're still with us today. It was really helped me. I mean, it was over $1,000 a month in processing that I was able to recoup on that. And so it's nice to be able to go after these merchants that nobody else really thinks about. And this is a commercial. They're a commercial furniture manufacturer that they basically manufacture these pretty cool looking furnitures. I can't remember what European country it is, and then they import it and basically they sell it to retail stores, and they invoice them. And so we came up with the option of plug, and then it's an invoicing tool that's not even as cool as this, but we kept them there because obviously we don't want to make any changes because it's working for them. But this as such an enhancement to everything, and so we're going to slowly but surely convert all of our merchants to our payment center platform. So anyway, think about it. I'll have this roadmap on the partner portal also, and then keep out for June 1st promo. I'll also update you guys on a Clover promo that's coming up in June 1st. Also, we're going to try to carry that over to the next month. And then if you guys have anything else, any other questions, I will have this recording updated also into the agent portal. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you guys need anything else. But other than that, you guys have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tigran.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.